Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Mountaineer Postgame Show. I'm Schuyler Callihan. I have Eugene, Napoleon with me. We're going audio only today. We'll be back full capacity tomorrow morning for the morning after. But West Virginia falling to UCF 45-13, dropping to 2-5 on the season and 0-4 in Big 12 play. So look here at the numbers. UCF outgains West Virginia 578 to 210. West Virginia held to just 79 yards passing, ran it for 131 yards. They alternated quarterbacks, Khalil Wilkins, Scotty Fox. Scotty Fox got the start in the game, but pretty much had a quick hook there after a couple of stale drives. But, Gene, it just felt like they could never find any consistency, any rhythm on offense to get this thing going for Scotty.
When I tell you that the score for me, I'm almost speechless. It's so much past not even getting a rhythm or to get anything started. West Virginia didn't look good in any phase of this game. And I didn't expect this coming out of a bye. Just didn't expect it, especially, the final score 45-13. And let me be clear, I'm not taking anything away from UCF, okay? They're building their program, just like the transfer portal hits everybody, it hit them as well. It giveth and taketh, I'll put it that way. But you cannot tell me, Scholar, that UCF is, 45-13. You got to be kidding me. I'm speechless. I didn't anticipate this particular score, nor did I anticipate West Virginia looking like this coming off of a bye week.
Yeah, and I think that's really the most surprising thing out of all this is, we kind of saw some bright spots in that loss to BYU 2 weeks ago, even though it was a game that was technically out of reach late. You still saw some fight. You saw some things from Khalil Wilkins that gave you some reason to believe that maybe they can find some success down the stretch, especially after the bye week. You get some guys back, hopefully. And of course, as this season has gone along, the injuries just continue to pile up. And before the game today, we found out that Ty Edwards is now out for the season with that hip injury. So obviously that doesn't help the case. But you still would have thought offensively they would have had a much better product, and they just couldn't find any rhythm. And again, it's always something with this group. It's you have a third down situation and you pick up the first down, or you maybe at least get in a manageable situation to go for it, and it gets brought back on a holding penalty, or there's a false start after you get a first down. It's just something that always knocks them back behind the sticks, putting them in those third and long situations with this offense you can't have. They don't have a vertical passing game to balance that. And I think that's what's really the biggest issue right now for this group is, Gene, if you can't push the ball beyond 5 yards, you're going to have a hell of a time moving it.
No, absolutely. And that's very well stated. Absolutely. So I'm going to say this, put this on record right now. College football better be on notice because get it in now. Get it in now. Get your wins. Pile up the points now. Because I'm telling you, once Rich gets everything on track, this is going to turn around. And I'm saying it here now because obviously I know he's not happy. I know that staff is not happy. I know the team is not happy with the results and the product that's being put on the field. 2-5 overall, 0-4 conference play, correct?
Yes. And staring into the face of 2-10 if we're
Yeah,
months.
right. So get it in now, get your wins, pile up the points, all of that good stuff now. Because when this flips, I'm looking forward to being on that bandwagon when this thing flips. Because no, right now it doesn't taste good, it doesn't smell good, it doesn't appear to be good at this particular point. But here's the nutrition of where college sports is right now, with the transfer portal being what it is, with coaching staff, moving all over the place. And that's just where we are right now. Once this thing gets stable, I'm looking forward to that. Right now, nobody's happy with the season. Nobody's happy with the product that we see right now. So I'm just putting college football on notice.
Hey, I mean, sometimes you have to take that approach because after what we've seen through the first 7 games and especially today, I mean, it's really hard to get anything or conjure any excitement up for what's to come in these next 5 games. But I mean, offensively, I mean, I know that you give up 45 points and the defense has its own issues to get through, but if you score 13 points or 17 points, 14 points, whatever the case is, you're not going to win games. So that's the thing for me that's got to get figured out. The defense, like I said, has their own issues. They're not. I'm not just glossing over what the problems that exist over there. I just think for this team to find any chance, they have to find answers offensively. In most weeks, now this week maybe not so much because they only ran for 131 on 49 carries, just 2.7 yards per carry. But
Right.
most weeks they're able to run for 200 plus yards. But the problem I have with that is, yes, you can sit there and pound your chest and say you're one of the top rushing teams in the Big 12 and in the country. But when you don't have anything to balance that or complement it with, those 200 yards per game are just empty calorie stats to me. You've got to find a way to be able to put the ball in the air, even if it's for 160, 180 yards a game. Do something to make the defense have a little bit of, a guessing game going on because right now, anything in the pass game, like I mentioned earlier in the show, it's either hitches, it's passes out to the flats, it's nothing downfield that's really challenging these corners, and that makes those guys in the second and third levels allowed to play more aggressively and come downhill.
Right. Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I'm not okay. As you stated, if you don't balance your offense and you have obviously three and outs more than 60% of the time in any, I don't care on what level, it could be Pop Warner, you're not going to win football games. Let's be clear, because that means your defense is on the field far more than they need to be and far more than your offense. You're not going to win football games. So being able to push the ball down the field, like you said, to at least keep the defense honest in some capacity throughout the game where you can flip the field because you are pushing the ball down the field, which means you're going to get probably more first downs than what the defense is your opposition is expecting, and you can do that by at least, I'm going to say, rushing the ball for 200 plus yards, like you said, empty calories. I agree with that 1,000%. I would rather have it where if you can get in this offense, this is a high octane offense, Scholar. This offense is supposed to be clicking at 550 to 600 total yards of offense between throwing the ball and running the football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may not eclipse that in 12 games.
Yeah, and the thing with the passing game too is, and I'm not saying that they should be starting to take shots down the field 20 plus yards. I mean, I understand there's limitations to the pass game. That's why there's all these little hitches and stuff out in the flats. I get that. The passing, the supporting cast has not been great. The receivers haven't played well enough. The tight ends haven't played well enough, and we all know the offensive line, the struggles that they've had, so they can't protect long enough. All I'm saying is get it a little bit further down the field. I'm talking 7, 8, 9 yards. Get it in that range. Get it to where you're throwing to the sticks at least. These little 2 to 3 yard hitches, they're just not going to do it, and it's making this offense so predictable. And even on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, you're seeing quarterback designed runs. You're seeing quarterback draws. You're seeing them pretty much just conceiving to the fact that they have to run the ball to do anything. And it can't be just Khalil Wilkins running around to make something happen every single play. Teams are going to catch on to that very, very quickly. We saw that happen today after the first couple of drives with Khalil. They were able to key in on it, and it kind of took them out of the game. So, with Scotty getting the Fox, we'll wrap it up with this. Scotty Fox getting the start and Khalil Wilkins coming in relief. And then you saw kind of both of them kind of split time there in the second half. Obviously, neither one of these guys has done anything to grab hold of that starting job. But if you're Rich Rodriguez, what are you doing next week against TCU? What is the plan at quarterback? Because at some point, Gene, I feel like you've got to just go with one of these guys and move forward with them.
Absolutely. Listen, first off, unfortunately, Khalil is hurt.
Yeah, and that's
Khalil has
true. Yeah, I forgot to
right.
mention that Cleo at the end of the game got
Yeah.
shot. So yeah,
He's on
his
at the end of the
hat.
game. He was on he was standing on crutches.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
yes,
there's your answer right there. I didn't see him on the crutches, but yeah. So maybe it is Scotty Fox or Jalen
but
Henderson gets back into the mix. Max Brown. I mean, my goodness.
listen, but to your point, at this stage of the season, you go with one quarterback, you develop one quarterback, and you live with the ebb and flows of what that position is because they're both young guys, right? You have to do that. The carousel situation at this point, it doesn't work because you get no continuity at that position. And if you have no continuity, you know what I'm going to say. To me, the quarterback is the CEO of your offense and of your program, whoever that guy is. You have to have continuity and stability at that position because that's what really runs your team. If there's no continuity there, there's no continuity in your locker room, there's no continuity throughout the team. So he has to pick one of those guys and live with the mistakes because they're both young and just develop that one guy. That's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's 7 games in now. And in all 7 games, West Virginia has played at least 2 quarterbacks. So at some point, I mean, I know it's a lost season, but you gotta lean on one of those guys. If it is Scotty Fox, hopefully the news on Khalil isn't as bad as maybe it looked. Like I said, I didn't see him on crutches, so the fact that you pointed that out that might lead me to the answer that it'll be Scotty Fox again next week, unless Jalen Henderson comes back. But just a tough spot for this offense to be in. Again, 45-13, your final score. UCF over West Virginia. Next week, the Mountaineers do return home for the first time in about a month as they will take on TCU at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. That'll be the Coal Rush game. All fans encouraged to wear black. So TCU also they look like they're about to go on and beat Baylor, so they'll be coming to Morgantown probably as a ranked team or at least on the verge of that. So another big game coming up next week. We'll see how the Mountaineers will respond as they get back home to the friendly confines of Mountaineer Postgame Stadium. But that'll do it for us here today on the Mountaineer Postgame Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here on our page at West Virginia on SI. I'll be back tomorrow morning for the morning after on Between the Ears, and we'll see you guys then. Take care.